Hey everybody, Tim here from Rat Daddy Studios, and you are looking at my next project and my ongoing project back here, the boat. The boat went to Plan B, the drag boat that I'm currently working on. So I had planned on doing a kind of a beach scene, sunset with waves, tiki thing on the front of the hull, and I started airbrushing that last night. Did the water and the sky in the background and everything, and started looking at it, and it just didn't hit me right. It just didn't fit the theme of the boat to me, and it looked like it was just going to ruin it. So I didn't take it any further. I got up first thing this morning and airbrushed right over top of it. So put base coat right over top of that, and went to Plan B, which was always to do the same color I had done on the hood of the Dodge Charger that it's going to be pulling it. So I went on and did the green to lime fade on it. So this is drying. I clear coated this afternoon. Excuse me. And it is drying and it's clear. So once this is set, I'm going to let this sit for 24 hours and I can start doing the final assembly work on that. The trailer's finished, the car's finished, so I can start doing final assembly work on this and wrap that up. And then I'll be moving on to this. And I know you're probably saying, oh God, not another hydroplane, but yeah, another hydroplane. So this is the Testors 1/25th scale Miss Budweiser hydroplane hull. And as you can see, I've already chopped it up to accept this 3D printed old school Chrysler Hemi. This is 1/10th scale, so 1/25th, 1/10th. Obviously, gonna hold a Roth monster, which it is back here. This is one of the race figures. Chuck Darnell had some extras of these after he had had this entire kit remastered by Van Chase Studios, which, by the way, he still has some of those kits. And if you guys, I mean, if you got the extra money, they're not cheap. They're a couple $100. So I would encourage you to get one of these kits from Chuck, and you can get in touch with him through me. I'll put you in touch with him, Dave. If you're an Ed Roth Rat Fink fanatic and you like the Roth kits, this is something that very few people have. These were originally sculpted and done, the figure with the car, by Jerry Petrie, probably over 20 years ago. Of course, Jerry passed away quite some time ago, and those kits were very, very obscure. And the whole story about that kit is on my website. If you want to read it, you can go there and take a look at it. I did a long history. Chuck and I managed to track down information about Jerry and some of his family members, and then his partner turned up, and we had another guy that helped us out with photographs and information. So anyway, Chuck he himself had remastered that race kit probably, I'm guessing it's now been maybe 7-8 years ago, and which he did good. And but he still wanted it better, so he sent one of those castings to Josh at Van Chase Studios, and they completely remastered it. And he had a couple of dozen of them made a year ago or so, and so they're still very obscure. I think the original ones that were maybe the same way, only a couple dozen made, so it's not like everybody's got one of these kits, and they're awesome. I mean, if you love Roth stuff, you're gonna want one in your collection. And I know some of you have already gotten them from Chuck, and you won't be let down. I mean, they are top notch. The resin, so you're gonna have to have some experience with resin, but they're not bad. They go together, especially now. They go together so much better because the things have been made simpler. The components have been made simpler, fewer parts to it. A lot more user-friendly, a lot less mold seams and stuff like that to have to work with. So anyway, I would encourage you to take a look at one of those kits and maybe get one. But anyway, back to this monster. So anyway, Chuck gave me one of the figures. He had some extra figures done, so he gave me one for Christmas. And this is very wobbly right now because it's literally taped together. And if I bump this wrong, the whole thing's going to fall apart like a jigsaw puzzle. But anyway, so I have already recut the hull to accept this figure. Of course, he's just from the waist up, He'll of course have his hand and his teeth and a shifter and a steering wheel to go with him and fit in here. I can't take credit for this particular design. This is all Chuck, but I will tell you, last year, I originally did one of these hydroplane hulls with a 3D printed Ratfink in it. I used the kit engine, but modified it some, put some big flames coming out of the exhaust and stuff, and it came out great. It's one of my favorite things in my collection. Chuck took it a step further. He cut one of these hulls up. He got one of the Parma 1/10 scale Hemi motors, which are getting harder and harder to come by, and the price has gone up phenomenally on those things. But he got a hold of one of those, and then he adapted one of these figures to it. So this is his idea, this whole thing. So I'm just taking it a little bit of a step further with this 3D printed motor, because I love these big scoops, and a lot of the drag boats are now using these giant intakes like this, either the dual with a shotgun or the triple like this. But I like the triple. I think it's just badass looking. So I have to give Chuck credit for this. The other person I want to give credit for actually getting me this hull is my old friend Kerry Day. And Kerry is a really great guy, longtime friend, goes way back on eBay too. Kerry relinquished one of these hulls to me, one of these kits. He had a kit he had one that was perfectly mint, and he had another one that was almost complete, and I really just needed the hull and the running gear, and he sold that to me and gave me a great price. Kerry and I have been friends for many years, so thank you, Kerry. So that's enabling me once again to do this. So anyway, that's going to be the next project. As soon as the boat and the tow vehicle are finished there, then I'm going to be diving into this one. So I've already started sanding the hull and prepping it. This motor, I got this off of eBay. I think it's like 3D Scale Products or something like that. I can give you guys a link to it. This guy's got a lot of these motors. He'll do up to 1/8 scale and as small as 1/25. It literally just goes together perfect. There's no extra flash or rods or anything hanging off it. I mean, it's absolutely perfect. And I'm really stoked to get that. I think it's actually the same guy that did the boat. I think that's how I got hooked up with this guy. So anyway, so a lot is going into this, and not cheap. These motors are not cheap. It's an $85 motor setup. The resin figure from Chuck, the kits aren't cheap. I was just stoked that he gave me an extra figure to work with, so I'm really happy about that. But anyway, that's where this is going. That'll be next, and then I have an even bigger scale project that I've started fiddling with. I'm going to show you that sometime in the near future. I am still gathering parts for it, as well as this. But anyway, that's what's going on right now. So I'm pretty happy with all this stuff. I'm really happy with the boat, even though the planned scene didn't work out, but I still love the look at it. I think it's going to be great when it's done. So nearly finished on that one. So anyway, I'm probably this week. Everything else is done for the boat. All the running gear and everything just drop. It's almost like plug and play at this point. Just putting in the details, and so that'll be finished. So anyway, that's my update for now. Hope you guys had a great weekend. It is Sunday afternoon. I am worn out. Took a shower, took a little nap, got up and had a snack, and I figured I would get this posted. And I've got some other stuff, other plans for other projects coming up here that I'll probably be working on the side on later this year as well. So I've always got 5 or 6 things going on. I know a lot of you guys don't build like this. You probably think I'm nuts, but because of the way I paint and how long it takes for a lot of these things, I've always able to have my hands in a couple of things. And sometimes I'll finish like 4 things in a week's time, and everybody's like, holy crap, you've been building like crazy. Well, no, I've been building like crazy for months on several things, and sometimes it just kind of all comes together that way, because I have several things that are not that far from being finished, but just need my time, and a lot of times if I get really stoked about something, like I did with the boat and the Charger, I just want to devote my time to it, and I will work my way all the way through it. I did that with the Charger pretty much. I mean, I just dove into that and finished it. So I'm not always like that all over the place, but a lot of the time I am. I've been like this for years. I've always worked on at least 3 things at once, and sometimes a lot more, as you can see. So anyway, that's what's going on. So I will talk to you later this week sometime, and give you some progress on what's going on. I hopefully have this boat done, so and have it all hooked up with the trailer and the charger, and get some good final pictures of it, and move on to the next thing. So thank you for tuning in. Pushing 800 followers now. Thank you for being here. I really appreciate it. Please, if you're checking it out, give it a thumbs up, and please leave a comment. Always love hearing from you guys, good or bad, and it's usually positive, and I really appreciate that. I love looking at your work. I try to look at all of you guys' work as much as I can. Usually during lunchtime at work, I'll kick on YouTube and I'll watch a couple of them while I'm eating my lunch and try to catch up with you guys and see what you're into. There's other people that are worse than me, like Glenn. Holy crap. Glenn's models. Glenn builds more stuff than anybody I've ever seen. He's amazing, and he does some really cool stuff, So Glenn, little shout out there, pal. Love looking at your work, and a lot of you guys are doing some really great models. I really enjoy looking at the work, and love seeing that so many people are still building, and young people too. It's not just old farts like me. There's a lot of us are old farts, but because we've been doing this for so long. But it's so good to see so many of you guys, young guys, building some killer stuff, and it's good to see the hobby thriving, and that the aftermarket industry is good with all the parts and the 3D parts and the metal parts. I love seeing this stuff thriving. So hopefully our hobby will be around for a lot longer. So anyway, thanks again, and I'll see you later this week. I'll be posting up another video. So thanks. See you soon.